This podcast is brought to you by the Anime Addicts Anonymous community, and if you would like to support the podcast, you can go to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Proceeds go to supporting this podcast and helping it run just the way that we like to bring it to you. And if you do so, you're going to get 8 exclusive podcast episodes per month, our Hobby Addicts, our Hentai episodes, and our After Parties exclusive for you. That's 8 exclusive episodes a month when you support the podcast over at aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. Now giddy up, weebs. Time to start the podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at aapodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Whoa, welcome into the podcast. Episode 694 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse. And I am back from a brief respite, but I'm here, your host Mitsuki, and I am joined by 2 awesome anime addicts. We have Caroline. How you doing?
Yo, I'm doing good. Doing pretty good. Just came out of watching Perfect Blue in theaters, so I'm in a mood.
Wow, yoroshiku.
Yeah, that was an experience.
And we also have Mason, who just recorded a hentai episode with me, so we're feeling all lubricated up and ready to roll. How you doing, Mason?
I'm doing all right. I guess if Caroline is blue, you're red, and we just recorded hentai. I must be pink for our review today for the 3 magical girls that we are.
Amazing.
Oh, interesting.
How about that?
Nah, I didn't see it coming. I thought you'd say yellow. All right, guys. Well, if you want to help out the podcast again, you can go to aapodcast.com/join or Patreon. You can watch us live on twitch.tv/aapodcast, live Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Woo!
You can find our Discord at aaadiscord.com. Definitely recommend you check out the Discord. We have broken 2,700 members, never to go back. We are never going to see 2,700 again. It was a good milestone, but it's come and gone.
You say that now, but I'm pretty sure there are some people in Discord that will leave just to spite you. Say, haha, we're going to leave our channel and get back down to 2,600.
Well, the hell with them then. And I am drinking a old-fashioned, so very nice, out of a Dragon Ball Z Saiyan's cup, which is my my only remaining cocktail glass that I bought in Japan years ago. Because I broke the Android's cup, because dishwashers suck. And I shouldn't have dishwashed it probably, but if I had done it in the sink, I probably would have dropped it and broke it, so it was going to break either way. What are we doing on the episode today, guys? We are going to be doing the descent into Weebdom, or AKA Weeb origin stories. I think, every superhero needs an origin story, and we are super weebs. So there you go. And then we will prove it by reviewing an anime about weebs. Pretty much.
That's a really good way we have organized our show here.
Yeah, like that. Mahou Shoujo Magical Destroyers or Magical Girl. Some Magical Girl, Magical Destroyers. Like, it's just, what the fuck are they doing? You could have just said Mahou Shoujo Destroyers. Would have been a better title. But no, fuck it. All right, guys. Well, without further ado, let's get to the big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
Alrighty then. Well, the big news of the week, I believe that there was some Attack on Titan news. So, as I recall...
Or was it like an announcement of news, right?
Well, whatever. Yeah, they did announce that there would be a new project announced for Attack on Titan called Shingeki, which has no title currently, but they are calling it tentatively Shingeki Fly, or in Japanese it would be Shingeki Fry, and then I wonder if we're having Titans for dinner.
Oh, it's a crossover with Burger King.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what this is. I know we're on like Attack on Titan Final Season Part 63 at this point, but what do you guys think this new Attack on Titan project could be?
I was thinking about it, but honestly, I don't know. Like, Attack on Titan Fly, I'm not sure what that could be referring to, if anything that we might have known before.
Yeah, I don't know. Considering that, not much official stuff has been published about it, it just says, hey, we're going to get more information on October 4th. But the person who did say, new information will be coming out on October 4th is the mangaka's editor. I'm wondering if it's manga specific, like a side story, because we had all those OVAs of like, here's Levi's backstory, here's this person's backstory, blah, 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 blah. I'm assuming it will be something like that, just supplementary material. I don't think it'll be anything new, but...
You think it could be like a prequel?
No, not even. I mean, maybe. I'm guessing that it will be a side story, if anything, just based on no information at all. That's just what my gut tells me.
I mean, a prequel could be a side story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
thinking more like in the same timeline.
But I was really hoping for it to be an announcement of Attack on Titan Junior High Season 2, because I freaking love the Junior High version of Attack on Titan. I thought it was hilarious.
You want the spin-offs that are a completely different like tone and everything.
No, I'll take any Attack on Titan extra stuff. Like, no matter what it's, I'll probably would watch it, but I was really hoping we can get more of the Junior High series, because the entire show is just playing on jokes and making fun of the original show, and they only got up to a certain point that they were making fun of it. Like, that there's so much material to make fun of in this show that I really want.
There's more jokes to be had. Attack on Titan, classic jokester series.
Are people going to be satisfied with more Attack on Titan High School? Because, I mean, I feel like people want more Attack on Titan. Don't you think so?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I just think they're going to get it with the finale.
It's my selfish want. Remember that a long time ago we talked about our selfish sequels?
Yeah.
I should have asked for a selfish sequel, Attack on Titan Junior High Season 2. Because nobody else wants one, but I do.
Yeah, I understand. Well, that's the news from me. I mean, we don't know what this is. I don't particularly give a damn. I actually don't even plan on finishing Attack on Titan. I'm over it, honestly. I'm just tired of waiting.
There's not much left.
Oh my god. When the final season is 70 episodes or whatever, I'm just like, I don't care. Just fucking finish it. It's just whatever. I'm glad you enjoy it, Caroline, but I'm kind of tired of waiting. Right now, all I want is new Jobless Reincarnation. It is so much better than anything else right now that it's like, it's actually pretty humorous. The gap between that and most of the other shit I've been watching is just like, oh my god. People that are watching Jobless Reincarnation, they're all nodding. They're like, yes, yes.
I've not gone back in.
Rudius's penis, it doesn't work.
I've seen one episode and I dropped it. So
he's got erectile dysfunction. So, all right. You can just catch some magic on his penis, or like talk to Dark Schneider. I mean, I don't know. I think figure it out.
They would be pretty good friends, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Caroline, what is your big news of the week?
Penis. Apparently, Rudius's penis doesn't work. They're like,
Rudius definitely has he's got a tiny dick anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's probably really little. It's a baby dick. Oh boy. Caroline, what's your big news?
Okay, moving on. News this week. New Serial Experiments Lane AI chatbot lets you talk to Lane. So with the 25th anniversary of Serial Experiments Lane, there's a new AI chatbot that you can talk to the character. It's put together by, I don't know how to pronounce it, Anik, or Anik. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to go with Anik, a digital event logistics company and the seller of collectibles and NFTs, and is powered by OpenAI and voiced by Koei Font. The AI has been trained on archived recordings of Lane's voice actress and the original scripts of the anime. It also speaks in both Japanese and English, using the voice actress's voice as a template. The AI Lane is designed to be cold and terse at first, even avoiding showing her face to the user. However, as she becomes more acquainted with her user, she will become more friendly, showing different facial expressions and giving longer replies. Users are only able to send Lane 10 messages before they need to start paying for the service.
Fuck yourself.
It costs $20 a month for
What?
unlimited chatting.
With
or
Lane?
$100 for 6 months. Paid
Wait a
users
second. Wait a
can
second.
suggest-
Can we just stop for a second? Let me just stop you there.
Okay,
I know that I know you got one more bullet point, but $20 a month. Are you able to pick other anime characters, or is it just Lane?
No, it's just Lane.
Because Lane is not the character you want. First of all, Lane is a little girl. Second of all, she's like emo as shit and probably will be a horrible conversationalist. She spends all her time in a fucking dark room, like hooked up to a computer.
Yeah, I know. She probably isn't the
What?
like the 100. She's like, okay, nobody's going to this character to talk to specifically because she's a great conversationalist. It's just because it's the 25th anniversary, and it is very appropriate for Lane to be featured as an AI bot because of her anime. Like, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Look, oh man, I would pay $20 a month to hook my. Did we do our hentai episode? All right, we did it already.
All right.
The problem is we just did
I
the
know
hentai
where you're
episode,
going with this.
and you're
You don't
already
have
in the
to.
groove.
Listen. $20 a month. If it hook me up to a VR headset and let me just talk to and instruct Roxanne from Harem in the Labyrinth as to what she's doing, I'll pay $20 a month for that. But I am not paying $20. I am not paying the entire monthly fee and then some of Netflix to literally have Lane give me like the most awkward one-word answers I've ever experienced in my life. Oh no!
To each their own.
Are you gonna? You're gonna sign up?
No.
You've
I'm not
already
gonna do
signed
that.
up?
No, but there are people
we're gonna
that
get our
probably
free
would.
10 messages and then leave.
Have you done this? Have you tried it? Is it open?
No, I haven't.
we
I think so. Go to the link at the bottom.
I am right now. Access
Oh, look
AI
at
Lane.
you.
Here we
Are
go.
you
Giddy up.
actually going to
Add
take
her in.
part in it? I thought you weren't going to do it, Mitch.
I ain't gonna pay for it.
But you can send 10 messages.
I agree to the
while
following.
you're
I'm
getting
not reading that shit.
While you're going to get that set up,
Listen.
paid users can also suggest new words for Lane to learn and will be entered into a monthly raffle to win anime cells, framed artwork, and other collectibles.
Wow, it's loading right now.
Let's all love Lane.
Oh, here we go. All right. Okay. I'm talking to Lane right now. What should I ask her? Come on. Chat, people on Twitter or whatever,
I think
Twitch.
We should ask her her feelings on being an AI. I think, how does she feel, having her likeness mutilated to such a degree?
What are your feelings on being an AI? Here we go. She's thinking, calculating. Come on, Lane. Come on. Give me
Tell
a
us
smile.
how you really feel.
How old is Lane?
Isn't she like 14?
14?
Yeah,
I don't know.
If I
I'd
said
really
anything
love
lewd
Lane,
to
to be
this
honest.
AI, the fucking CIA is gonna come like parachute through my windows. Okay, well I'll let you know what she says. Anything else here? I think we're gonna fuck with this the whole podcast.
She's still trying to think of an
Yeah,
answer?
she's still planning. She's still deciding on what I am.
thought these were like faster.
No,
but yeah,
apparently she is very.
It was too hard of a question.
Yeah, she's struggling right now. She's
Pretty
thinking.
complex.
Lane is thinking. That's what it says. All right.
Anyway, so
I should
there is a little more.
Oh my god, I'm gonna put this on the Twitch. I'm gonna try.
Sure.
I'm gonna try.
Put it on and see if we can get.
Oh, I just
responses
lost all
throughout
of
the
our
show.
cameras. Oh my god, I'm fucking breaking this. I'm terrible.
You
with
want me to
technology.
keep on going while you figure it out?
Yeah, you keep going. I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Oh no, there's a little more that I want to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, go for it. Sorry.
So the AI Lane is currently being planned to have monthly updates, including various holiday events to keep her constantly evolving. So I guess we'll get Christmas Lane at some point. Yeah, so again, it's already up and running and can be accessed through the official AI Lane website, which I have linked in our show notes.
All right, Mason.
Yeah, we got a bunch of news about The Boy and the Heron, aka How Do You Live, aka the brand new film from Hayao Miyazaki. We really need to decide, I think, as a collective Weeb culture, what we're going to call this film. In my heart, I was like, oh, How Do You Live? That sounds great. And then they got announced to be The Boy and the Heron, and I'm like, that just... I don't know. Anyway,
I think it
G-Kids
sounds better, to be honest.
announced that it will scream the film in North American theaters and IMAX on December 8th. So we have a date when we can watch the new movie. Yay! And even more exciting, they released a 60-second teaser video on their YouTube channel on GKids, which is the first time that film footage has been shown outside of Japanese theaters. So we get more than just that promotional image. We actually can see what it looks like. And I haven't watched it because I don't want to spoil myself, but I'm sure it looks awesome.
I'm amped up to see this movie. I mean, every time...
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so I need to ask another question of Lane. So she gave me a bad answer before. Should I ask her how old she is?
Hey.
Sure.
How old are you? All right. All right.
Yeah,
oh my
so
God, there's
about,
audio.
Yeah, that's what I
with
told
the voice
you.
actress.
Oh,
My age is a secret.
Can you hear that?
Patch her in.
No, we can't hear it.
Oh, well, the chat can hear it. She said my age is a secret. You cheeky little... I paid good money for this. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, no, I haven't paid shit yet. My age is a secret?
She's really wasting these 10 free messages.
That's okay.
I'm going to ask her why her age is a secret. Let's get challenging with it.
Yeah.
She said her systems are a bit overwhelmed right now. Could you please message me again later? Are you fucking kidding?
What the hell? They are really trying to squeeze every dollar out of you. They're wasting your 10 free messages.
Oh my God.
That is so rude.
I should say something lewd to her.
No.
Why not? It's just going to give me the same response. Anyway, are we all planning on seeing this movie?
I probably would. I honestly,
Yeah.
as much as I said that the whole let's not promote this movie at all thing being very stupid and just like a bad idea, it does make me a little intrigued to go see it.
Yeah. I absolutely want to see this movie. I think everything that Miyazaki gives us from here on is just a gift. I know that he doesn't see it that way. Miyazaki's probably like, you know, it's my job or it's my passion. But to me, it's like, bro, you're 80 or whatever, and everything you put out is a gem. When I saw The Wind Rises, I was like 100% sure that was it. And having watched The Wind Rises again not that long ago, the movie is really good. I mean, it really is. It's more of a mature Ghibli movie, but it's just phenomenal. And I'm sure this movie is going to be phenomenal also. And the man isn't retiring. So he's working on another film. You know, he said this time he's not going to retire. He's not going to announce his retirement at all. He's continuing working just like he always has done, which means to me that this man is going to die working, and then somebody will have to come in like Mozart style and finish his last work. Like Mozart died writing the K626 Requiem or whatever, and then he had to have some of his like understudies come in and finish it for him. Well, Miyazaki is straight up going to die doing like his last movie, and he's going to have the storyboards done and all this shit, and the whole studio is going to finish this movie in honor of Miyazaki, and the whole country of Japan is going to go see it, and we're all going to see it, and we're going to cry like the weebs we are. And that's, yeah. I need a lane-specific question to answer that. Ask this AI. Come on, hook me up.
Yeah, I can't really think of one because I barely remembered what happened in Serial Experiments Lane. But if anybody in the Twitch chat has any suggestions.
I mean, you could ask what PC build she's running right now. You could ask what she thought of episode 11 of the show. You could ask why does she like teddy bears so much. You could ask all sorts of things.
What PC build are you running right now? Since she can't even answer why her age is a secret without calculating it too hard, she's probably not going to know. Here she goes. She's thinking. The specifications of my PC
The specifications of my PC are undisclosed.
You stupid little... She told me her specifications are undisclosed. What is wrong with you? Yeah. We got like,
it's
Pentium 1 over here.
Anything, but I'm not going to answer.
All right, guys. Yeah. Is there anything else to be said on this?
Yeah, I was just going to say that Miyazaki started How Do You Live, started with storyboards back in 2016. So if he is truly not retiring and is continuing to work, it means we're not going to get, hypothetically, another film from him until 2030 at the earliest, which would make him roughly 90, which, is not unfeasible.
I think it would probably be earlier than that because I'm sure COVID had,
Delays.
affected that development. So it might be a couple years.
It's possible, and you can never, directly one-to-one it, but just, hypothetically, it's not out of the question, but yeah, it would be a miracle, and one I would gladly accept. But yeah, I'm definitely going to go see this movie in December when it comes out. So, huzzah.
You know, for somebody that talks a lot of shit about anime, Miyazaki sure loves his anime.
He can't do anything else. It's all he knows.
Anyway, for the duration of this episode, although I would like to wrap this up soon, I will field questions from the Twitch about what I should ask her, but in order to get her audio on here, I have to actually like use a combined audio track probably, so let's get these questions done. All right, should we move into the main topic here?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to let Caroline take this over because I think this was, it's highlighted as Mason.
Mason's idea, I think.
I think it's Mason's idea.
Yeah, it was my idea, and we'll see how well we all followed the prompt. But yeah, this is...
I don't think I followed it very well.
Descent into Weebdom. So the intent of this was to kind of think back on our journeys, perspectively on how we got to where we are today, and the touchstones, the moments, the chapters that defined our descent from just a normal, innocent, good person to slowly devolving into being an otaku, weeb, nerd, whatever you want to call it. And kind of the signs, if you will, that looking back, we could be like, oh, I remember when I started thinking this was okay or doing this. That was probably a sign that I became a weeb. And hopefully you, the listener, can reflect yourself and be like, oh, I'm seeing some of the same patterns. Maybe I'm a weeb, or can, sympathize with our own struggles and paths. So I think we're each going to approach this in a different way, kind of telling stories of our history into becoming a weeb and, kind of what defined us being either like an early stage weeb or like a late stage weeb. So we say weeb with endearment and respect, but knowing that it's not always a positive thing in culture. So does anyone want to begin?
I will begin, but first I want to ask this question that Twitch wants me to ask Lane, and this is, I think, maybe the last one we're going to do because it's going to be disruptive. What is your favorite Pokemon? Go! You better give me an answer, you stupid AI bitch.
My favorite Pokemon is Pikachu.
Pikachu? She's a Pikachu! Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
She chose the number one Pokemon. She looked up favorite Pokemon and she chose the first one that came up.
I love Lane, but I'm so disappointed in this answer.
Do you like anime?
Oh, a message.
Sorry, my systems are overwhelmed. You are worthless. We're out of here.
Overwhelmed.
She knows better than to admit it.
Good lord.
She doesn't want to be caught red-handed liking anime. Can you think of a more sinister offense?
All right. You guys just want me to run through chapter 1?
Let's do it.
Sure. You have a lot written, so...
I also have a lot written.
I will let you two share your stories, because I think you guys made it more personal, and I want to hear it, so go ahead, Mitz.
All right, so I titled chapter 1, Images of Child Weebhood by Schumann. I don't know if you guys know this, but Schumann has a suite of classical pieces called Images from Childhood, and it's really a nice suite of pieces. But I'll be quick with some of these. My mom brought home a lot of Ghibli movies when I was really young. Kiki's Delivery Service, Totoro, some of the standards back when I was growing up, which was in the 80s. 80s and like early 90s, I was a kid. So, I was born in 1985. So, Totoro came out when I was 3. So that's pretty much like right on the mark. Totoro is probably perfect for like a 5-year-old. I think a 5-year-old would be mesmerized watching Totoro. And there was definitely a gap in time when I didn't even watch anime because like not a lot made it over here besides like Akira and some Ghibli movies. But when Cartoon Network hit, it just took over. I mean, honestly, Dragon Ball Z, as it was with a lot of people my age, was just a dominant force in anime. I can't even imagine how many hundreds of thousands of kids rushed home every day to watch Dragon Ball Z in the U.S. after school. And that led to a whole bunch of stuff, and some of these things are pretty comical, trying to download Dragon Ball Z movies illegally at 2 KB a second in the mountains of West Virginia. Do you have any idea how long it takes to download the Broly movie at 2 KB a second? You are waiting quite a long time.
Forever.
I mean, that's like a whole 3-day download, I would say. Getting excited to play Dragon Ball GT Final Bout on PlayStation, even though it's complete ass, simply because it was available at Blockbuster back when that existed. That is a fucking terrible game. If you've ever played it, I mean, your characters pretty much just move like up, down, left, right. They don't even have like enough dynamic movement to even barely be a fighting game. just trying to sneak smut past your mom at Sam Goody. So I think she's watching. I don't know. So
yeah, she's in the chat.
You definitely bought me some smut. I don't know if you knew that, but now you do. So that was pretty funny. And as you grow up, your interests change. It goes from Totoro to boobies really, really quickly. So hiding in your bedroom, waiting for hentai games to finish downloading, also on 2 KB a second. This is just like gradual levels of like maturity transitioning through your adolescence. Everybody wants to. My mom said, "Oops." In your defense, there was no real hentai available at Sam Goody, but there was some like 17 plus like ecchi. But yeah, like hentai games in your bedroom, like downloading at 2 KB a second. I mean, you'll wait like a whole weekend for that, but it's fucking worth it once you get that thing. So I played a whole bunch of old hentai games. Those are pretty good.
Mitsugi's path just went from sneaking stuff past his mom to sneaking stuff past the U.S. government and like international laws.
I mean, I made a pretty penny in high school selling burned copies of Inuyasha that I recorded off of TV. So we all have our phases.
That's how you earned your millions.
Yeah, and then moving from that, I also burned probably close to 200 anime DVDs that were rented from Netflix. So I mean, it's pretty simple. You pop them in your DVD burn drive on your computer, burn that shit, send that crap back, and then watch the burned copy. And then you just before long, you have a book of 600-700 anime DVDs that are worth nothing, but at least you have like a lot of them on disc. So back when like Netflix was like the sleeves, like the 3 discs you'd get in the mail.
Came in the envelopes.
Yeah, so we all should have bought stock in Netflix back then. But it's just whatever you can get your hands on back in like the early days of anime. I mean, if you weren't downloading shit off of like BitTorrent, you fucking weren't watching anime for the most part. I mean, you were watching it on Cartoon Network and that was it. So you were downloading that crap or getting it off Netflix, and you would get anime no matter how you needed to get it. But all you youngsters that are watching anime right now, you're fucking spoiled. You're utterly spoiled. It's on Netflix. It's on Hulu. It's on Disney Plus. It's on Crunchyroll. It's on High Dive. It's on HBO. It's on this. Yeah. Okay. Try unhooking your landline phone so you can run a cable through your living room to plug it into the wall so you can download Dragon Ball Z, the history of Bardock, at 1 KB a second for 4 straight days. And then I don't want to hear you guys complain ever again.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Is like the joke about old people going, well, back in my day, I had a hitchhike to school, and I had to run through the snow, and we had to go to the other side of town, and blah blah blah.
The person who complains about High Dive more than anyone else is you.
Back in my day, AOL told me I got mail twice when I signed on. You've got mail.
Oh, that was a good impression.
Yeah, because you fucking internet was so slow it literally lagged just having it say 3 words to you, which is better than fucking AI Lane can say.
I prefer the mixtape that AOL plays whenever you try to log on to the internet, and it's just like the grinding of gears and song that sounds like a lot like the Magical Destroyers opening.
I will say that...
That's it! That's what it reminds me of!
That shit is fucking bizarre, that opening.
More on that later.
I will say, to my parents' credit, they did get a second landline hooked up because we were using the first one so frequently that... And that changed everything. Having the second landline just changed life completely because...
Betsy, you're the MVP!
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for the $30 a month or whatever that probably cost, that was gold. She doesn't even know, but... I think eventually we had 3 landlines because we were all playing like online games and shit. But I'm gonna move on because I'm taking up too much time. Caroline.
All right. I feel like mine is better told, sequentially, or should I just,
No, tell it how you want. This is your story.
Okay, but then Mitz should probably finish his story.
The whole thing?
I don't know. I just figured because I feel like mine kind of flows into each other.
It's an odyssey. It can't be broken.
Okay, well, I mean...
I'll go, like, if you think it would be better to do it back and forth, I'll go into mine. Okay. This is my Weeb war. my weeb more like my memoir, but
Jesus.
I'm trying to make it work, but
I like it. I see what you're doing.
I try to title everything. Okay, chapter 1, the calm before the weeb, ages 5 through 8. This is when I was watching Sailor Moon, not knowing why all the writing in the show looked like strange squiggles. I later learned that's an entirely different language, and Sailor Moon was not an English show, but that's later on in the weeb more. Okay, ages 8 through 13. I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, knowing that it was Asian inspired, but still didn't know what anime was. That was probably the first time that I watched a cartoon that had a level of seriousness. And the last part of chapter 1, ages 14 through 17, I was seeing, all my classmates in high school wearing anime merch and like stickers with the colored hair. And I was hearing about anime, but I was assuming it was just weird stuff. So I kind of just did not really get into it then. So that was chapter 1, the calm before the weeb. Mason, do you have a little story to share, or should we go to Mitsuki?
I'll save my stuff for later.
Okay.
So when I hit college, I think the hentai games and Netflix carried me all the way to college. I mean, there's a lot. Netflix has always been a supporter of anime. If you have to pick like only one streaming service, because I understand that they're really expensive, and I personally don't want to have more than like 2. That's like my limit, because I think that's enough. Netflix has been supporting anime forever. They had hundreds, maybe even thousands of DVDs available of anime back in the day. So we're not sponsored by Netflix. I wish we were, but like if you have to pick between like Netflix or Hulu, you're picking Netflix, because they have always been on anime's side, even from the beginning. So when you have that availability to you, shit, Netflix can carry you for a long fucking time, and that carried me all the way to college. My freshman year of college, I was like the gopher for the anime club president at the school. I converted probably 150 VHS tapes to DVD in my dorm room for the anime club president, and I know he probably just took all that shit and ran away with it, but my sophomore year, I took over the club because I was by far the most passionate, and thus began the anime club weeb-tatorship. That's right. Where I forced the anime club to watch what Mitsugi thought was good for about 6 years.
Nobody else had a say?
We voted on stuff, but I think a lot of the stuff that we voted on, I presented. But in fairness, I tended to pick stuff that I thought was pretty good. We watched now and then here and there. We watched The Vision of Escaflowne. We watched some weird shit. I think at one point we even watched Sailor and the Seven Balls, which was pretty hilarious. And it was in like one of the primary like classrooms. We had like these auditorium style classrooms and with a projector, and they would just let us use that equipment. And I was like showing straight up porn in the fucking school in one of the classrooms, and got away with that shit, and no one fucking knew. So that was pretty wild. And then after I graduated from college, I did the anime club all the way until I was in grad school, and I wasn't even technically allowed to at that point. But I was so good at the anime club, I would create these elaborate trivia games where images would slowly unravel themselves until they were distinguishable, and people would have to guess what anime it was, and we'd have like hundreds of dollars of prizes. Like we really went whole ham with the anime club, and and it had a lot of. We were one of the biggest clubs on campus for a small college. We had like something like 50 members at a school that only had a couple thousand kids. I mean, that's a lot of people. But eventually, I had to give it up because I went to grad school and made a weeb-ass anime podcast to share my bad opinions, but so that I could look informed. So that's what I'm doing right now, sharing my terrible opinions, but looking informed because I'm on a podcast.
Success. Hooray, we made it.
And that's pretty much chapter 3. And that has carried me. I'm just finishing this up right now because there's not much more. So I've been watching anime for this podcast all along, and pretty much most of the stuff that I've consumed as far as anime has been through this podcast, but that has really helped me to maintain, a sort of currentness with what's happening in anime all along. So really I've been like, in the meta of what is cool in anime since I started doing this, and, a lot of people have come and gone as far as co-hosts, but, it's pretty nice. But I will say that a lot of this, like, mass consumption of anime for so long has made me a pretty grumpy old weeb. I'm a grumpy old weeb at this point, and I watched this hentai earlier, and I just thought to myself, like, if this girl character had been in about half the rom-coms I've seen in the last 2 years, they would be much better rom-coms than they are now. Because it's just, we have these non-timid characters in hentai that are probably in some ways more realistic compared to most people we get in make regular rom-coms and stuff. And eventually I'll die, and there will be death of a weeb, and then nobody will cry, nobody will mourn, and there will be no anime on my grave. And it'll be a mass grave like Mozart. And they'll just throw me in there in a body bag with lime, and they'll say, weeb to weeb, dust to dust, and then that'll be the end. And then they'll move on, and nobody will care. Except Pancake, she'll care. But, yeah.
That's a little dark.
Well, hey, there is death of a weeb. There must be a final chapter.
That's a little dark, says Caroline, the person who kills off Mitsugi every time he doesn't appear on the podcast.
What the fuck was that about?
I mean, it's only dark because you don't have me killing you off in the end, Mitsugi.
Yeah, it's really the only shame is that you're dying not by her hand.
I want to die the way Tyrion Lannister wants to die, with a belly full of wine and a maiden's lips wrapped around his cock at the fine age of 73.
Nice.
Let's not lie. That sounds pretty dope. So, all right. I yield the floor to finer people.
So, should I just unravel my story here?
Yeah, I feel like that's
onion.
what you're intending. The
Peel that
saga
onion.
of Caroline the Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, chapter 2. This is where it gets good. The Epiphany. I was
Go with
18 years old. I didn't put puns in all of my chapter titles, but I guess it could. Let's go with Epiphaweeb, because it seems like I did that accidentally. Without intending to. I think that was the only chapter I did not put weeb in.
Perfect. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Okay. Age 18. I was on Facebook and I saw the Attack on Titan opening in one of the videos, and I thought it looked really cool and unique. So being in my first semester of college, I was interested in trying something new. So I binged it. One night, I actually even went to the school play, which I love school plays. And I was like, okay, before I was really excited to go see the school play, but then I had started Attack on Titan, and all I could think about was finishing the show. So I did not care about the school play one bit. And now that I had binged Attack on Titan, I was on a high, a weeb-induced high. And I looked up
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Other top-rated anime, quote unquote, because I didn't really know much at the time. What were other top-rated shows that people liked? And then I embarked on Death Note, and then I embarked on Sword Art Online, and then I embarked on the show that I knew that my cousin had liked when we were kids, and that I had just realized was an anime, Naruto. And not knowing the difference between canon and filler, I watched every episode, regardless of quality, and believed that every filler character and plot point would come back up eventually.
Damn. I thought for sure you were going to say High School DxD.
You thought for sure? You really?
I
you
did.
Really did.
I really was convinced.
Okay. I think I probably would have mentioned that in the podcast.
If you watch High School DxD, I will do this podcast shirtless with nipple tassels.
Do I really want to watch High School?
Why would I need to watch High School DxD when I could just watch that instead?
Mitsugi,
That's
why
a
would
good
that
point.
be a prize?
That's a good point, Mason. That's why we keep you around.
I'm just saying, why waste the effort? It's too repetitive. Too much of the same content.
My mom is shouting in the chat that people should watch Monster. She's correct.
Thank you.
Or she's calling Caroline a monster. One of the two.
Maybe.
That could be.
Okay, so here we go into chapter 3, The Weeb in the Closet. This was age 19. So watching anime was a hobby that I pursued in solitude in college.
Oh, sorry. That was a double.
But when I came home for
you
break...
You got mail.
That's right.
It does kind of sound like the You Got Mail sign. I felt a sense of embarrassment when I came home for breaks. So as I continued my long journey into Naruto, I would hide my computer screen from my sister, who I shared a room with. And because I did that often, she started to believe that I was actually watching porn.
Well, were you?
No,
Your sister,
I was
she
watching
goes off to
Naruto.
college. She decides to experiment a bit. Next thing you know, she's watching anime.
Yeah. So and looking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe that I was that serious about hiding it, but I thought it was too out of the box that my sister would make fun of me for it. Eventually, she did catch what I was actually watching. That's when she told me, "Oh, I thought you were watching porn."
Well, yeah,
I
you were
eventually told
hiding
her
it.
What I was doing. I know.
Everything's more suspicious when you hide it, Caroline.
I know now. I just thought I was being really slick with it. She didn't really care.
Something was
So, Mitsugi.
I'm sorry. We shouldn't do the hentai episodes first.
You really shouldn't, because you have so many quips today. Okay.
I'm also drinking straight bourbon. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another part to this chapter. So even after that, I was in denial, and I didn't want to talk about it with many people, and I also resisted downloading anime OP songs, and the dam later broke with the absolute banger that was the erased OP. And now like half of my playlist is full of anime songs and such. Okay. Chapter 4. A whole new weeb.
A whole new weeb.
Okay, at this point, I had heard about manga, quote unquote, and decided to look up the Naruto manga. I was immediately put off by the fact that it was black and white, and I did not pick it up again for a year.
What?
See, chapter 5. Yeah, I was looking. I saw that it was all in black and white. I'm like, wait a minute, this has to be like a printing mistake, right? So I'm like looking it up, like Naruto manga colored, and like you'd get like fan art and all that. But I thought it was supposed to be in color, like American comic books.
That's why you gotta read JoJo, because they have a whole colored version of it.
Oh my god!
Wow,
That
it's all
probably
fan
that
done, but it's still cool.
They probably released it after though. I mean, that guy's not.
Yeah. Look up JoJo's Colored Adventures. It's pretty good. Anyway,
could you blame me? I was still very new to all this. I thought it was strange. It was in black and white only.
I just picture Caroline opening up the book, ready for a word.
Oh no, it wasn't a book. It was on my phone, but.
And you're like, turn one page, still black and white. Nope, just slams it shut.
Listen, Caroline. Caroline, I'm gonna help you out here.
What?
Until I was about 12, I thought anime was pronounced anime.
That's awesome.
Good.
I'll make you feel better. There you go.
I was expecting something more usual, like, people go anime, anime.
Anime. Anime.
Am I a loser? Yes, that's how you pronounce
and I'm a loser. This is literally like growing up in Bumpkinville, West Virginia. Like you don't like probably the only person watching anime in the whole fucking city. There's no one to help you out.
There's YouTube back then to be like, oh guys, let me talk about anime. Let me tell you. Oh no, it's anime. Okay, shut up.
I think kids today absorb more knowledge in 3 years of their life, the first 3 years, than I absorbed in the first 10 years of my life growing up.
It's okay, Mitsugi.
My mom's like, Bumpkinville. Yes, a city of 20,000 people is Bumpkinville.
10 years and counting, excuse me.
Yeah.
All right, so
anyway, continue.
So back to a whole new weeb. I got hooked on AniTubers, particularly Mother's Basement, Giguk, and the Anime Man. At this point, I was nearing the end of what had been released of Naruto's English dub, and I was faced with a choice. Wait months for the next part to come out, or power through with Shudder, English subtitles, and Japanese audio. So little did I know that would be my preferred listening experience forevermore, because then I realized the English dubs are so cringe compared to everything else. So, yeah, that was a big turning point. I was also starting to keep track of anime that I had seen on my phone notes app, and later on I made in my anime list account. And slowly but surely, I was starting to watch some seasonal anime here and there. So, here we go into chapter 5. It's a weeb world after all. I was age 20. I had joined my college anime club, and for the first time I interacted with my own kind. I tried to get
What?
my friend to watch an anime. She appreciated it, but did not continue. I tried to get my roommate and my sister to watch an anime. Both vehemently declined. I picked
This is
up
like a
manga
children's
again.
storybook. And then the duck found his own kind.
I'm just starting to like power through some of these points in my life. I picked up manga again, now used to the fact that they will almost always be in black and white. And I got my first anime streaming service membership on Crunchyroll. Moving on. Chapter 6. An anime podcast appears. Da da da. I was age 21 to 22. I went on a study abroad to China. I did not visit Japan, which I almost immediately regretted. And after returning to my boring domestic life, I realized I needed a new podcast to listen to. Could there be an anime podcast? I searched and found many options, but was sorely disappointed by the quality. And then I found the AAA podcast and listened to it weekly. I am not sponsored by the AAA podcast. But by
you should be, though.
Yeah, actually, I am sponsored by the AA podcast. By the next summer, I joined the Discord channel to be a part of the anime club there. I was a recent college graduate at the time, and unfortunately unemployed when Icy Rose announced that he was going to stop managing the social media. So, in the interest of being a part of the podcast and getting some work done on my resume, I had asked Mitsugi for the job. We now move on to Chapter 7, The Professional Weeb. Ages 22 to 26, current day. Now that I was employed in this side job, I figured that it would be a good time to explain to my parents what anime was and what I was doing. I am still explaining that to them to this day, 4 years later. After a couple appearances on the pod with a crappy microphone, I was promoted to host, and I got an actually decent microphone. And my view of anime expanded. It expanded to the not so good stuff that I can't drop them anymore because I have to finish them for the podcast. I went to my first and currently only convention in 2021, and COVID really accentuated the feeling of being in a sardine can. And here I am today. The end.
Can I just make that was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Can I just make a PSA real quick for people that haven't been to Japan yet? The yen is still cheap as fuck. It is cheaper to go to Japan now than it has been in probably close to 50 years. You people need, if you're on the fence, like, oh, can I afford it? Can I not? You can. Just go. Just fucking go. Japan is not like the US. It has no inflation. It's cheap as shit right now. Go to fucking Japan. It's going to be insane. You're going to be able to stay in like an Airbnb for like fucking $20 a night. Just fucking do it. I'm telling you right now. Go look it up. Go look this shit up. It's almost 150 to 1. It's madness. I'm used to like 105 to 1.
Yeah, usually it's the straight, you just do 100 to 1 just for like mental math.
You
but now
can't
you're
do
getting
that
extra
anymore.
50%.
Yeah, like I'm going to Japan in late March, and it is going to be so comically cheap. People, book your fucking flights. I'm telling you right now, just do it. Do we have a drop for that?
I feel like for my first trip to Japan, it would be appropriate to do it with the podcast.
Well, that might never happen, so don't wait. Just fucking go. It's cheap as shit right now. Just go.
I also don't think right now would be the best time for me to take a trip. So
we have not let Mason. Mason has not gone at all yet. So
yeah. Well, my stuff was more general, all-purpose thing. So I just divided up my list into signs that you're an early stage weeb, mid-stage weeb, or a late stage weeb.
Oh, I see.
You guys let me know if you experience them, what you would add to this list. So it's not specific to me, but I think just in general, I mean, obviously in early stage weeb, you usually encounter that one show that puts you on the map of anime.
Dragon Ball.
You watch that one show. For Caroline, it was Attack on Titan, where she just becomes like, oh, I have to watch more of this. For Mitz, it was Dragon Ball. Like, you watch the show, this is it. This is my thing. For me, it was Kill la Kill. Watching that show just was like, I need more. Ingest it into my veins.
Kill la Kill, yeah.
But there's more subtle signs. For example, you're a kid, you want to play video games, you choose a PlayStation over an Xbox. You don't know why.
That's just being smart.
You have a tendency towards all these anime-inspired games, which are showing up on a Japanese console
Yeah,
and not your American
right.
shooter console.
Plus, the Xbox sucks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Even to this day,
know.
Xbox sucks.
You maybe make your first My Anime List account, to start tracking shows. You don't have much, but you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna make this part of my personality. And maybe you start listening to an anime podcast. And if you're really an early stage, you might think about getting like a poster or a wall scroll for your
Yes, wall scrolls all the way.
You want to show your a weeb, but like just to yourself in your own privacy. So that's usually an early stage weeb. A mid stage weeb.
I feel like anime podcasts should go mid stage. I don't think people really go anime podcasts in early stages.
That's maybe true, but I think we still get a lot of early stage. And for the sake of a joke, I'm saying it's early stage.
Don't tell our friend Muffins that on the Discord, because Muffins is early stage, and he's watching, he's listening. Shout out to Muffins.
Muffins is a special case.
We accept all early stage weebs.
Yes, we do.
To this podcast, though we don't really cater to them.
Items.
Exactly. Mid-stage weeb. You might consider learning Japanese. You've started toying around with learning those hiragana squiggles that Caroline was so enamored with. You might upgrade that wall scroll. You might get a figure, and you might be like, yeah, I'm having a 3D version of anime. You might start cheering for the Japanese sports team at the World Cup or any kind of Olympic event, even though you might not be from Japan.
True.
They're kind of like your second favorite team. You
That's
might
a bingo,
actually
baby.
start making an anime podcast instead of just listening to it. And, you might be, as I'm assuming Mitz commented here, going to Japan. You might actually make the voyage. You might ascend.
I recommend
and
it.
see the promised land.
I'm going to fucking retire in Japan. I mean, after what a shit show inflation has been in the U.S., all I hear about is like, I can't survive. It's so expensive. You're not wrong. Japan hasn't had inflation in 30 years. Shit is the same price as it was 30 years ago. I'm moving to fucking Japan, people. It's crazy. Oh, my God.
And finally,
I definitely had a moment of wanting to learn Japanese, but not at all taking a Japanese class. So I even, tried to listen to anime episodes, but without subtitles, just to see if I could pick up on things that way. And I did not continue it.
Well, that's fair. Very rarely do people actually become proficient in Japanese, but most mid-stagers will just start the process of dabbling before giving up. But that's all that matters. It's the attempt. It's the thought that counts. And finally, getting into late-stage anime weebdom, you realize that you don't need to study Japanese. You kind of given up, but you still have those subconscious moments where you can just know what they're saying, or even worse,
Nani?
is you will stub your toe and be like, "Itai." Like you'll have the anime reactions, not in a early stage forcing in kawaii and sugoi to your broken English. No, that's early stage. I'm talking about you unconsciously emit these sounds. That's late stage weebdom. You've evolved. You're past the wall scroll. You're past the figure. You've gotten your first body pillow. That's late stage weebdom.
The body pillow's late stage? What if you're just lonely?
The body pillow it's late stage.
What if you're just lonely, Mason?
Well, then you're just a loser mid-stage weeb.
Well,
I can't help you there.
I think any time is fine to have a body pillow of Roxanne.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh my God, I need some
an
Roxanne
early
AI.
stager is watching Roxanne? Maybe. I doubt it though.
Roxanne, where are you? Come sit on my lap.
You are no longer doing an anime podcast. You're also doing a hentai podcast. And finally, let's just say that you have just watched so many anime OPs and EDs that your body clock has acclimated to 90-second long bathroom breaks. You're watching a binge of anime, and the OP starts, and you're like, I know exactly how long I have to use the bathroom, get some water, and be back right as the episode begins. Because your body is so well trained that you've just adapted, and you've reached pinnacle stuff. And this is a little different nowadays. You can skip OPs with Netflix and all that. But back in the day, you're watching a marathon of Cowboy Bebop or something. And I guess you don't skip the opening of Bebop, but you know what I mean. So
I do.
So there's some examples that you might be one of these stages of weeb.
Man, a lot of those apply to me. More than half of these. Probably, no, fuck it. Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I'd say.
we all go down the same path, people. You know what's up. Making an anime a hentai podcast. Yeah, I mean that's close to death. That's the end.
That's death of a weeb.
That's death of a weeb. I mean, I'm telling you what. I mean, it's like it's just not enough to whip out your stuff and go to town on it while you're watching a hentai. You have to like talk about it. And it's especially odd to have other people want to listen to you talk about watching hentai. But you know, whatever. AAApodcast.com/join our Patreon. You're going to hear all the good shit. We're going to give you all the unfiltered shit. We're going to bring on Pancake and Caroline and shock and awe them with hentai and for your enjoyment. You know, that's
Wait
what's
a
up.
minute. I did not agree to that.
You've already done it.
I've done it maybe once or twice.
Oh, I see.
But
so you have done it.
I have been on the
count if it's
tamest
just the tip.
episodes.
Just the tip.
Yeah, it was just the tip. I've not been on one of your raunchier hentai episodes, so I can't say that I've really done them.
Just the tip does not compute. I gotta say, sorry.
Are you turning into Lane?
Lane was unable to answer almost any question I asked her.
Calculating.
I literally asked her, like, what's your favorite anime? She's like, I don't know, calculating. Please ask
you
again
should
later.
ask her our weekly trivia question.
Oh, that's a good point. Fuck her.
Right,
She's not going to know.
All right, so the in-show weekly trivia question is, what is the name of the convention that the Revolutionary Army and Magical Destroyers creates? And we will get your answer and Lane's answer after the news break.
See that? People are saying on the Twitch that you were great on the hentai episode, Caroline.
They only like it because it's a very once-in-a-while treat.
No, it's because having a non-pervert on a hentai episode is just a special perspective. That's why.
Well, as long as they love it.
All right, we'll be back later. See you guys. Hey, Anime Addicts, this is Mitsugi, and it's time for your anime news break. Getting us started off with Attack on Titan news. There's a new project coming titled Shingeki Fly. So it looks like Hajime Isayama, the mangaka of the Attack on Titan series, and his editor Kawakubo have recently announced that there will be a new project coming. There will be more details announced very soon. It looks like maybe on October 4th. And these details were shared on the Attack on Titan Twitter, aka X, whatever account. So fans of Attack on Titan can expect something coming regarding the anticipated final season part 3 of the series, and then this Shingeki Fly. Well, I wonder what that could be, but we'll have to find out. Next up, the Kizumonogatari anime is getting a compilation film on July 12th, 2024. Aniplex Online Fest had this announcement. It looks like that will be coming out in the 3 parts of the original anime are being re-edited into a compilation film to be enjoyed right as the new year starts in 2024, so that's exciting for people. The anime originally released as 3 films, Kizumonogatari Part 1, 2, and 3, between 2016 and 2017. For those of you that are big fans of the property, look out, because you're going to be getting a nice little compilation film as a bonus for you next year. Next up, Fate Grand Order, the Sensor Tower, which I haven't played, but I've reported on Friday that the game has earned more than $7 billion as of August 15th, which is just insane. 81% of the revenue is from Japan, while 8% is from China, 6% from the US, 2% from South Korea, etc. So the Fate Grand Order celebrated its 8th anniversary starting in July, and the game topped the Apple Store rankings for 8 days back in the summer in the early August. So if you're a fan of Fate Grand Order, this game is like posting puzzles and dragons in its heyday numbers. Pretty ridiculous stuff, so congratulations there. Next up, in just some Crunchyroll business news, it was announced that Brady McCollum is leaving the company of Crunchyroll after 15 years. This is Crunchyroll's chief operating officer. He had been working with President Rahul Purini regarding this transition, so it looks like the chief marketing officer, Gita Reba Pragata will replace the column at the end of the month. So this can be a big deal when you have so much like knowledge and talent in a company replaced. It can create waves when the leadership shifts like that. So we'll have to see what happens. Probably nothing, because Crunchyroll is just basically, essentially run by Sony at this point. So, all right, that was it. This was your anime news break, and now time to get back to the podcast. Here you are, jogging. Beautiful weather indeed, and you're looking good too, I might add. The blood is pumping, and so are these AAA podcast vibes.
Mitsuki, I want to take my balls out and lube up your head.
That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now you'll be left with no choice but to listen to the placid magnificence of nature. But you're a stink meaner, and you think nature can go get fucked.
Man, this some old bullshit.
If only you had the AAA Podcast's extra content, you wouldn't be forced to enjoy nature at all. We'd carry you all the way through the rest of your jog with our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties, over 900 additional episodes of content. You think jogging gets your blood pumping? Just wait till you listen to some hentai episodes. And you'll be helping out the podcast as well. Plus, your grumpy ass won't be chasing birds anymore. Shut up, you noisy little shit. Don't be grumpy. Head over to aapodcast.com/join or patreon.com today and help out the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Hello, my name is Celestine. I'm a geneticist, and yes, I'm French.
I'm Cass from Sydney, and my career is in women's humanitarian aid.
My fiancé here and I set up a company called Gene Queens to bring genetic engineering to social causes. Why should eugenics just be for bad guys?
Our adventures are online as webcomics at www.janequeens.com. You can read them for free.
It's like Black Mirror meets Lena Dunham's girls,
but with more sex than the former and more drugs than the latter.
Come splice with the nice girls.
Well, I'm not sure if I should be having another old-fashioned, but I'm doing it. I bought a huge bottle of this stuff, and I was
an old-fashioned.
I actually bought the good shit to make an old-fashioned. I bought a giant ice cube mold for the freezer, and I bought bourbon cherries, which are extremely expensive. I was very surprised, but that like a tiny jar of cherries costs over $20, but it does. But wow. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
What shape do you have for the ice cubes? Or
it has
just the spherical ones.
It has square and round. So.
What do you have today?
Trivia question. What is the name of the convention that the Revolutionary Army and Magical Destroyers creates? It is called Wonku. I'm gonna ask Lane why she's such a bitch. Hold on.
No, but did Lane ask, or did she answer the trivia question?
Here we go. Holy shit, she sent like a ton of Japanese.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Did I do something wrong?
Yeah, you did. You can't answer any questions. She asked me if she did something wrong.
Well, did you ask her about the trivia question?
She's not gonna know.
Why?
Well, that's the test.
You want me to type this entire block of... All right, okay, all right.
I want you to
said
copy
you would.
it.
That's the only reason. Never mind. It's fine.
Copy, right-click, paste.
All right.
Control-C, Control-V.
I only asked because you said that you were going to.
Oh,
I said it'd be funny.
a message.
Too. Not that he was going to.
Sorry, my systems are a bit overwhelmed right now. Could you please message me again later?
That's insane.
Go on a date.
Oh, a message.
My systems are a bit overwhelmed right now. You just deflect every question you don't want to answer. What is
Typical Pikachu enjoyer.
Typical
taking
bullshit.
Way out.
I know that the article said that she would have short and, not interested responses, but that until she gets to know you, quote unquote.
All right,
but
so she's hiding. Listen, she's hiding her face right now. I said, please show me your face. You're cute.
Oh.
Come on.
A message.
Come on. Oh, she did it. She did it.
My face is a secret.
Your face ain't a secret anymore, girl. I can see it right now. Let me show you. I'm putting this on the Twitch right now. I did it. I just broke the internet. Where the fuck is this thing? It's not working. What the hell?
Mitz is out here like, ladies and gentlemen.
Boom. I did it. Look at this. Look at this. There we go. Now I'm hitting on Lane. Here we go.
Oh, gosh. How many responses do you have left?
I don't know, but I said I knew you were cute.
Oh, a message.
My systems are overwhelmed right now. Too much cute. She can't handle it. Oh, my God. I got her to show me her face. That's like winning the game. It's over. There's nothing else to do. I have won. When
Congrats? Question mark?
Birthday.
Huh?
She doesn't know what her fucking birthday is. This is ridiculous. Get the fuck out of here. You're done. You're done. They're never gonna sell any of this shit to people. Are you fucking kidding? $20 a month for this crap? She can't even answer when her birthday is. All right. Well, now it's time to be enlightened with Unexplored Pictures with Mason. Are you ready, Mason?
Yes, I am.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for Unexplored Pictures with Mason.
It is once again time for me to talk about movies that you might not have seen and let you know if they are worth your time and effort. I've covered animated films that come from outside of Japan before. I've talked about The Legend of Hiei and Big Fish and Begonia from China. I've talked about The Summit of the Gods from France, and I've talked about My Year of Dicks from the United States. So a lot of interesting films out there, but I have never done one from Korea yet, and I figured, hey, we should change that. So I have to talk to you today about a movie called Osim. This is a 2003 movie. It's less than 90 minutes long, so it's super short. It's based on a novel, and the title roughly translates to 5-Year-Old Temple. And the movie starts off with these two kids playing. There's an autumnal color palette. There's pleasant music. There's a cute, fluffy dog. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be a sad movie. And it's said to be a fairy tale for adults. It's the story of these two siblings, Gami and her younger brother, Gilson, who find refuge in a remote Buddhist temple in like the mountains. And obviously, if you know anything about Buddhist temples, they're pretty, quiet, restrained, tranquil, just a very still life. And that is not really what the 5-year-old Gilson, who is super energetic and rambunctious, really likes. So he is running around. He's full of energy. There's a cat on the screen right now for people on Twitch and YouTube, so you're missing out if you're just listening. And so Gilson is just this kid who's just running all over the place. He is knocking over fancy vases. He's being really boisterous. He's the kind of guy, that cleaning of the floor style where they like put the mat on the floor and then they run around and kind of kick it around.
Hell yeah.
But like, so it's, he's trying to help, but his feet are just like covered in mud. So he's making more of a mess than he's helping. He's just kind of a nuisance, but he really is caring at his heart, especially when it comes to his older sister who is blind that he kind of helps take care of. And the movie is very slice of life where the days just kind of pass by, but there's these little pockets of small isolated events that kind of keep it from getting too mind-numbing. There's these really kind of intense chase sequences. There's these dramatic scuffles with neighborhood bullies. And there's kind of a climbing disaster when they try to go on a hike one day. So it's, very slow, but it has these little moments where it keeps you engaged. And it really is a movie that is a avenue for the acceptance and growth for these two kids to overcome the loss of their mother. And, speaking to these monks with the occasional wisdom of their religion, the kind of worldview of an innocent child, and kind of how Buddhism ties it all together is really the crux of this movie. Mainly using the vision as the main metaphor, being able to see what is next to you, being able to see what doesn't exist, and being able to see what you kind of want to see. And speaking of visuals, while this movie kind of looks plain, it has some really neat animation cuts that I rewound and watched a bunch of times. A lot of kind of 360 camera moving around a character, which is super hard to do, and this movie does it extremely well. And this movie just does a lot of communication through the nature, the iconography. It's simple, but it's really effective. It's a short movie, like I said, but it's beautiful in an ethereal kind of way. It kind of has a sadness that is moving and joyous despite its inevitable tragedy. So I would recommend it to people who like slice of life movies. It kind of feels like a fusion of Grave of the Fireflies and Honda Shonenshi. So not for everyone, kind of unique. Definitely, really, most people won't have a flavoring with Korean movies, and I think this is a pretty good entry point for it. So the movie, once again, is called Osim, and it is pretty neat, pretty cool, and worth your time if that sounds interesting.
Nice. All right.
All I got.
And with that, let's head into mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime. Anime. Anime.
Mailbag.
If you would, did you just pull up the middle finger mitts?
Live with it. What are you going to do?
This is a family show.
No, it's not. Are you kidding?
I know it's not.
This is a show for mid to late weebs only.
This podcast is a dumpster fire of perversion and lecherousness, which is because I'm here.
Your mom's listening, so it is a family show.
We broke my mom long ago. She's there's no hope for her soul.
Okay, well, one can dream. If you would like to submit a mailbag, you can go to AAApodcast.com and click the mailbag button and send us any question that you'd like. And Conspirator did that. They say, "Hey Addicts, discovered the podcast a few months ago, and y'all have been keeping me sane at work ever since."
Yeah.
My question is, what anime character is your spirit animal and why? For me, it has to be Shikamaru from Naruto. Mitsugi, what do you have to say?
Well, when I was teaching in Japan, I used to think to myself, I remember that scene when Onizuka comes out and he's first teaching the class and he just slams his books down on the podium and he writes his name on the board. I did that once. I had to do it for anime fans everywhere that haven't.
Did your students make a connection?
I had some bad fucking students in Japan. I had good students. I had 5 schools. I had good students that were just amazing to teach. They were so much fun. And I had students that wanted me to die in front of them and watch me bleed out. It was unbelievable. Because in Japan, it's just like in America, I think, they send you to the school that's near where you live, right? And so there were bad areas and good areas, and so Onizuka, Eikichi Onizuka, I still, after all this time, I still think Onizuka is a peak anime character. He's just so fucking entertaining to watch. I'm going to stick with that. I think he's just the best that I've ever come across as far as just he's a badass when he needs to be. He's he's funny when he needs to be. He can be a perv when he needs to be. He just has everything. The runner-up is probably Gene Starwind. I mean, I love Gene Starwind. He's so cool from Outlaw Star. I mean, that anime is so underappreciated. No one ever talks about it anymore. Outlaw Star is really, really interesting and cool. I love it so much. There you go.
But didn't you have one more?
I mean, I love Kentaro Oe, but he's kind of overspoken. I mean, it kind of goes without saying.
Right. So I thought long and hard about this. I feel like I was thinking about it too much. Because I was wondering, what is a spirit animal? Is this somebody that you aspire to be? Somebody that you really respect? Is it supposed to be the character that most accurately reflects you? And so I just went with that last one. I think I'm a bit like Minori from Toradora and Megami from Food Wars combined, I think.
Except
I don't know how to cook. That's
it's the attitude.
Yeah, it's their beings that I think I'm mostly like.
I did not think long or hard about my answer at all. I remember in a past podcast episode, I said Legoshi was my spirit animal from Beastars, so I'm sticking with that because I'm too tired.
Nice.
Are you still going to come visit us, Caroline? Are you still thinking about that?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, February, I think, right?
Whenever you want to visit. Well, we will pamper you. We're going to pamper you when you come visit.
I'll do it when it's less cold so we can hike.
I mean, I definitely don't want to come in February, but it's when I have off, so it's probably the best time to do it.
There's some, we're going to pamper the shit out of you. So
it's going to be so much fun.
It will be fun. All right. Shall we talk about this anime that I forced upon all of you?
I think so.
We'll see how it goes. Mahou Shoujo Magical Destroyers, which, as I said, is the most redundant title because the word Mahou means magic. So Mahou Shoujo means magical girl. So you didn't need to put magical again.
No, but like, isn't it kind of? Do they say magical destroyers in Japanese? Like magical destroyers.
I don't know.
So it's probably just like, I don't know.
All I know is going to Japan is going to be cheaper today than it was 10 years ago. I'm like, this is insane.
Yes, the magical destroyers. They say it in like English.
I'm gonna magically destroy those vending machines in this fucking Japan. All right, so I've passed
You're all over the place today, Mitsuki.
Whatever. I'm drinking old fashions. I'm feeling. I'm living my best life.
It's like you have ADHD or something.
I do have ADHD.
Okay, so the
clinically
alcohol
diagnosed.
Is definitely
yeah,
definitely ramping that up.
Yeah, diagnosed for sure. I passed this on episode 676. It's a spring anime, and really, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I simply think this was a shitty season. I think that this season I was like, what am I going to pass? These anime are so mid. And then I thought to myself, this one at least had some style and it was interesting. The OP is kind of trash, but it's also kind of good. It's weird. Like the music, the song is fucking horrific. But the visuals of it are like some kind of a trapeze, like weird, like just reaching into the bag and pulling out some bizarre fucking puzzle piece. I don't know. It's pretty weird, but yeah. Anyway, spring 2023. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. In 2008, the Japanese government began hunting people who identify as otaku in an effort to protect the country's culture, which is so funny because. Never mind, I should not. I've been watching a lot of World War II documentaries lately, and I feel like I've learned a lot about World War II, and Japan was definitely horrible. People should read about that, but part of anime was a rebranding of the whole country of Japan. We could probably talk about that as a whole topic, but Japan is cute and cuddly right now because like they were fucking assholes in the 40s, so... in just 1 week, the enforcement agency known as the SSC captured almost every otaku by force and confiscated their memorabilia, a.k.a. body pillows, figures, plushies, whatever. One passionate man calling himself Otaku Hero refuses to allow this agency to do as they please. He raises a resistance army made up of other displaced geeks who band together to defend their culture. And 3 years later, the firestorm of rebellion wanes as all people seem to have lost hope for the otakus. Whatever. It's a fucking revolution against, like, the government. Directed by Hiroshi Ikehata from Beebury Animation Studios, which is not a name you hear a lot, but they have done some things. And this is an original anime, which is interesting. So, I passed this, so it feels weird for me to give my opinion first. But I'm going to start with Caroline. How do you feel about this? What were your expectations?
Honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into with this because I could not remember what you had said about it. Who passed it? I thought, actually, for a while, I thought it was listener's choice. And I couldn't remember what people said about it while it was airing. So I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I hope it's at least decent.
We'll find out. Mason?
So I did not think that Mitsuki was going to pass this show, but I had heard a lot of talk in our Discord about it being really engaging and entertaining, so I actually watched a couple episodes back when we were doing impressions in case Mitz was like, oh, this show stinks, it's so bad, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, no, actually, like, I'm really vibing with it. So I, watched a couple episodes, enjoyed them, and then when you passed it, I was like, huh, Okay, well, I guess I will look forward to coming back to it and enjoying it further. Let's hope that's the case.
As for me, it felt like Trigger. It felt like a Trigger anime, honestly, for the beginning. It was, I expected more zany, wild, sort of off-the-cuff action with some weeb crap sprinkled in. I mean, it just didn't seem like... This anime didn't present itself as a typical anime. It just seemed like it had a little bit of flair and some little bit of machismo. Not machismo. It had, I don't
Je
know.
ne sais quoi.
It's just, I don't know, some differentiation that made it different from other shows, and that's why I picked it. I was hoping it wouldn't be the same as an anime I've seen 50 times, and that's kind of why I picked this one. Whether or not that's true or not, we'll see. Caroline, would you recommend Magical Destroyers?
Not really.
Oh.
But, okay, so it had some good points. Like, I thought the art style was really good, and I'm a sucker for a good color palette. I love the colors in this show. Here's the thing. I don't think they developed... Sorry. I just skipped ahead from my script here. I don't think they utilized, like, the ideas they were going with very well. Because even though I liked the color style, the color palette, I thought the music was decent, I thought the core group was okay, it had some interesting ideas, and I just feel like they could have done more with it. I don't think they really developed any side characters, but I feel like they really could have within the resistance group they had, because it felt like they had a large variety of people with a large variety of interests, and I would have liked to see what their role was in the resistance regarding those interests. And to be honest, I just felt like the show was more focused on putting something weird on screen than really developing what they had. Because by the end, things are left unexplained, and there are more questions unanswered at the end, and it was just felt pretty unsatisfying. And I was starting to wonder, is there going to be more to this, or is it supposed to be left off on a completely weird note? And apparently they did announce a season 2 or something like that.
No way.
That's what I heard from other people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so and like by the last episode, things were happening. I'm like, how are they gonna wrap all this up in one episode? And they didn't. So there you have it. But I will say, it was actually kind of decent to watch with a group of people and having some drinks along with it. I thought it was pretty fun just as like a group watch, like one of those really weird shows that you just turn on, turn your brain off kind of thing. So, but overall, I would not recommend it.
Mason, how you feeling about this? Would you recommend it?
I really wanted to recommend this. I wanted the show to be so much better, and it really promised a fever dream of excellent visual energy from the beginning. I love the opening and ending. I think they're a pretty great pair to this show, and I just was really excited to get back to the show. But no, I would not recommend it for a lot of the same reasons that Caroline mentioned. The biggest disagreement I have with her is that she said, oh, it didn't really execute on its ideas. False. The show had one idea. It didn't even have multiple ideas to play with. It was just it was so one note, and it really didn't even hit that note well. Yes, it was just it was so brash and bizarre, and I loved so much of what it was doing, especially in the first half. I think if you asked me, 6 episodes in, what do you think of it? I'd say, oh, it's a blast. I'm having a great time. Has some slow spots, but overall it's hitting its mark. It just wore thin by the end and just couldn't execute it. And this is done by Beeberry Animation Studios, who previously did Grisaya Phantom Trigger the animation, which is fitting because, like Mitz mentioned, they kind of became a Phantom Trigger studio with this work. Though honestly, it feels a lot more like Gainax to me, especially from their Otaku no Video era, where it's just a movie about being an otaku, about being a weeb. So that's like very fitting to what this is. So I'll get into the specifics about what I do love about the show in our review, because there is stuff there is value. I definitely recommend checking out the beginning of it and just stopping it when you grow tired of it. But from a whole 12 episode piece of work, sadly I'm gonna have to say no, I don't recommend it.
For me, I wanted to recommend this anime, but I also do not recommend. I think it was fun at start with its fire. It was fun at the start with its style and unconventional attitude towards things, but it just didn't seem to have enough narrative. I think that's really the problem. It just got really silly and devolved into sort of just chaos and nonsense, honestly. I liked the backstory episode, but it was also sort of nonsense. And I think I needed it to be a little more serious. I don't know. Like the villains are really silly. They all have like these weird masks and stuff, and but the initial reason why I passed it, like I said, was really the style and the sort of flair that it had. But it just didn't ever seem to develop anything past that. And so, I don't know. It just didn't really seem to have enough to carry itself for 12 episodes. It seemed like a good maybe OVA. I would have liked this as like a 3-episode OVA. It would have been good. Amp up the production quality, tighten it up a little, and it would have been fine maybe, but 12 episodes is a little too much. So, yeah, I also don't recommend this anime, unfortunately.
Yeah, the OVA point, I think Mitz is really spot on.
Yeah. Anyway, but, they all... they can't all have, like, great narratives. I just think this one needed to have, like, a little more of like... The villain... I think the villain might have been the big problem. Like, there was just not, like, these, like, faceless, like... I don't know, pillowcase-looking, like, faced villains is just not really enough to really propel the story. I think it really lacked, like, a specific, like... villain, and it just didn't really seem to have enough of a goal in mind. It was just a lot of silliness revolving around the girls, and so the
problem was it had a distinct seasoning. It had a different flavor than other anime shows, and that's why you passed it. And then you realized it was only that one flavor for all 12 episodes, and it's like, I need something different to mix it up. This tastes good for one bite, but after 27 bites, I'm kind of done with it. So it was just kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
I think you nailed it.
I was like always trying to make sense out of the chaos that they gave, but they never followed through on explaining anything and so then I realized, like, okay, so I'm just watching this without any expectation of getting satisfying follow-throughs on anything. So at that point, I'm like kind of checked out.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to talk about some spoilers. I'm not sure how many there will be, honestly, but we will play the drop here. So if you haven't seen this anime, you might want to check out. Otherwise, if you're a real anime addict, you'll stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
There you go. Episode 6 was interesting of this anime. It really had, like, that was the backstory episode of how they became magical girls or whatever. I like that episode, but you guys know I'm not big on, like, silly shit, and it just didn't seem like it really was even serious. It didn't take itself seriously enough, I think, to have this, like, Revolutionary War story or whatever. But I really liked... I don't know. I like the flip. It's weird, because I don't like Trigger very much, but... I like the sort of, like, out-of-the-box thinking that the show had. I don't know. The OP is fucking bizarre. Did you guys like the OP in this?
OP is so good. And
are you serious? I knew you would like it.
Oh, yeah. I have
the full version is actually even better.
What?
I have the exact opposite opinion from Mitsugi, because I really liked the OP. Really liked it. Up until the 1-minute mark. And then after that... I really disliked the OP.
Oh.
And that's when it got weird. Like, I liked the music up to that point. I liked the visuals up to that point. But the moment when it started making me think my computer was broken, I did not like the OP.
When it became that, like, gabber mixed with, like, blown out breakcore, that was unique and engaging. And it made you be like, what the heck is going on?
That.
Is it, like, aggressively the kind of music I want to listen to day in and day out? No. But it fit the visuals, it fit the show, like, it was engaging, it was different, and like I said, the full version of the show actually of the opening song utilizes it way better and makes it actually more cohesive to the structure. But yeah, I love the OP, I love the ED as well. I think they're both phenomenal.
Yeah, the ED was weird, but I thought it had a nice vibe.
Wasn't there a random cat, like, in there, like a live action cat?
Yeah.
They just, like, this was literally like the director's cat. He was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to put my cat in here.
I want to
It
know
was
who
that
that cat is.
late 90s vaporwave aesthetic where it just went all out with just oppressively harsh visuals and just made you be like, what the heck?
Did you say vaporwave?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the new? You guys know that lo-fi hip hop channel that has that girl that's like studying?
Yeah.
And she's been studying for like 30 years at this point. There's a new one.
Hip hop for what's it called? Never mind. Sorry.
The Chill Relax Study Tour or something.
Yeah. So there's a new one now that has like this like smoking hot anime girl, and she's like walking down like the streets of Ikebukuro or whatever, and it's called 80s Tokyo Synthwave. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but like I'm enjoying it.
I haven't seen it, but I've listened to Synthwave.
So check it out. It sounds like something that'd be like in a cyberpunk cafe from like the game. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, this show had aesthetics, and I love it. And I like when a show is super brash and bizarre, but it needs to, like Caroline said, it needs to have an undercurrent of artistry and meaning. Otherwise, it's just random for random's sake. And I do think the show achieves this, from the comedy to the visuals, to the dialogue. It's just bursting with metaphors. It has all these unique cavalcade characters across these episodic storylines, showing just all the various shades of otaku. We have, the train otaku, the military otaku, the car otaku, and just the way that they all bond with each other. They're not having the same interests, but they're like, hey, we are collectively nerds. We have maybe not the same hobby, but a similar hobby, and that, merges us together. You bond with the older generation of otakus, like, you young otakus have it so good nowadays. Back in my day, we had to hide. Like, the show did such a good job of balancing all these stuff at once for the first half. It was entertaining, it was engaging, it was varied, and then it just could not keep up that finally deck of card structure of excellence, and it just all tumbled in the second half.
To be honest, I actually didn't. I kind of felt pretty consistent throughout the entirety of the watch. Like, I didn't pick an episode and say like, okay, this is where it declines, because honestly, I thought the second half was fairly entertaining, as much entertaining as the first half was to me. And that being that it had its moments, but there were long periods of time where I was kind of just not paying attention, and it kind of felt like a little bit of a slog.
To me, it was any time that a major villain was introduced, like the whole episode where they fight Adam and Eve in the digital space, or they fight the talking head and his sister Himawari. Like, those two episodes were just unbelievably annoying, and just the character writing was bad. The villains were uninteresting. There's a bunch of Deus Ex Machinas, just unexplained explanations where they would be like, oh, because of this happened, but they don't explain the much more baffling thing that made it was just weird.
It certainly felt like whenever there was a problem, you knew that something was going to come about to fix it. Like, every single time they had to face a very difficult to beat villain, Slayer would come in and defeat it for them. It's basically a Kaguya defeating Madara situation from Naruto to bring it all back to Naruto.
Oh, but now that she's here, let's stop. Give him one more day. Give him more time to just talk. And it was just
Slayer literally could have killed them instantaneously, but she didn't for some reason.
Because it was all part of the plan. And
I know it's part of the plan, but but what I mean is she didn't when she had the chance, when she actually felt like she could, but she and suddenly her power levels dropped for some reason.
The show is so mostly episodic. There's really not much to spoil. It's really just do you like the general flavor of what the show did? I just liked it more at the beginning. I did like how the previews, what ended the episode, were the storyboards for the next episode, and how that was implemented into the plot of the show. I thought that was interesting. And even when the show got bad, I thought the humor was overall pretty good when, they're all saying hey, we're about to go fight our final fight. And the guy's like, if I survive tomorrow, I'm going to go fill out my, live my dream and go to the museum. And everyone's like, oh, that's a death flag. You're going to die. Yeah. That was funny.
Death flag.
When we get finally the background of, Shoban and why all this is actually happening. And he gets this message from God. He's like, oh, I'm gonna ruin the world and make my own vengeance or whatever. And he like plugs in the USB stick and it's not the right way, so he has to like flip it around. Like little things like that were funny and engaging, but it just wasn't hitting the same. Oh, they're fighting an enemy. Like that just became boring. And when that was all the show was, that was tiring.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Never mind. Go ahead.
I enjoyed the setting of this anime. I mean, I have spent a lot of time in Akiba. I think that a lot of people that live in Tokyo or live near Akiba probably identify a lot with the setting. It was pretty interesting to see, all the different buildings and all the different environments that maybe that to some people are probably familiar, which kind of I don't know added a little bit of something that's fun, I think, to this anime. I don't know. I kind of wish this anime had cases over their heads, like with smiley faces drawn on them, rushing into the center of Akiba with their little guns. Spend some more time helping us understand what the hell is going on. If you're having some kind of like a government revolution inside Japan, like that's fine, but like let's spend some time on that. Like we needed some prologue or something to help make this make more sense. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of weebs fighting over their Gundams, and then all of a sudden here come the pillowcases. And but I did enjoy the setting. I've been to Akiba a ton of times, and it's always
I like
it's a fun place to be.
The setup. I mean, the whole message of the show is, like what you like, don't be ashamed, don't let the general populace, the normies, whatever, get you down. Like, enjoy thoroughly what you enjoy as much as you can. Like, that's all good. But then it just repeated that message episode after episode after episode and it just became like, we get it. We need to introduce something else, and it just never happened. It
is like, honestly, I mean, in Japan, I had friends that used to say, me or somebody that I was with would say, oh, I'm an otaku. And then like the Japanese people that I know that I used to hang out with would say, oh, no, don't say that. You're not an otaku. You're, whatever. Because being an otaku has a stigma even amongst Japanese people today. Like they don't want to be seen as otakus because those are the people that are like hiding in like a darkly lit room in front of a computer. Like you see it on anime, right? That's the impression that the Japanese public has of these people. So part of me thinks that this anime is just an allegory for like the general tone of like how people feel about anime inside of Japan, which is just diving a little bit deeper and kind of speculating. But part of me thinks that like the pillowcase people are just supposed to be the public of Japan, and they want to like condemn you and fuck you up because you like Gundams and you're not, a human, or you're less of a human because of it. Because I swear to God, that is how people in Japan think about, like, anime might be this cool fucking thing now that, like, little kids are watching. But in Japan, like, the adults think anime is some fucking shit that, like, weirdos watch in their basement. It's
They're
true.
not wrong. Yeah.
It's true. So,
yeah,
I hate to say that, but
otaku,
that's what it is.
Like, for them, it's not saying, like, oh, I'm a nerd, haha, like, I watch Marvel. Like, no, it's a much more negative connotation, as Mitsugi said.
So I wonder if that's like the whole point of this, but I'm not really sure. I'm just
I mean, I think that's it. Be proud of who you are, what you like. Support other otaku, whether they're newer, older than you. It's a different hobby. Like, we're all similar. We're all the same. We can all fight together and just, be proud. But okay,
you want to fucking fight?
3 episodes long. I want to.
Let's fucking go, bro. Well, fuck.
Like, I think the whole point is, you're supposed to self-insert with one of the characters in the show and be like, oh, like, he likes trains. I like trains. I would be there. I'd be helping out Otaku Hero, this, generically named protagonist. But, I like the character designs. I like our main crew. I just don't think they have a chance to do anything interesting.
If you and I both teamed up, Mason, do you think that we could take Caroline?
Probably.
Like, what,
I think one of you can take me. What are you talking about?
I'm not so sure. I think you're a secret.
Who work out.
I think you're secretly like this badass that could fuck us up.
You put way too
I don't know why we need to fight Caroline. But
yeah, like why?
Why not?
The more interesting question between you and Mason, who would win in a fight?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. I think I want to fight Caroline. Let's go.
I think I want to win.
Let's fucking do this.
Oh my goodness. I need to go down to Denver when Caroline's going. I want to see this fight. The loser has to pay for high tea.
Is that why I'm visiting?
Yes.
That's why I'm visiting, to watch you guys fight.
I open the door and say, "Shirei shimasu," and you say, "We're ready to fight!"
Kablam! Kablam!
I forgot. That was another funny moment. The super American guy in Magical Destroyers who like had both simultaneously really good and really broken English and Japanese. Like to be so good and bad in 2 languages was incredible.
Just
what was
adding
his name?
this.
Marcus?
Yeah, Marcus.
Don't touch my mustache. Like, do you know where that comes from?
No.
I believe that was a term that they would tell like troops stationed in Japan. Because you're supposed to say do itashimashite, like what you say after someone says thank you. It's kind of like a you're welcome, do itashimashite. But they told troops just say don't touch my mustache, don't touch my mustache, because it sounds kind of similar. So that's why I think he said that in there. Don't touch my mustache. Do itashimashite.
Do itachi my mustache.
It's kind of close, but that's why he says it. Like it just was great. Like there's so many little things that I was like, yeah, that's neat, that's awesome. And then it just, I don't know. I think we've, just like the show, gone on about it long enough about how the show, like while neat, was overshadowed by its influences and underwhelming in its content, which is just a pain.
Yeah, for me, like when I'm watching the show, it'll start going in one direction. I'm like, okay, this is an interesting direction, and then it'll suddenly divert attention and go into something else and repeat. It was, yeah, I just felt like there were missed opportunities with what they had.
Who was your favorite magical girl on the show? Was it Anarchy-chan? Was it the fucking pink one? Was it the blue one?
Gobo. Gobo.
I
like blue.
Despite her yelling, which could get very annoying, I liked Anarchy. I thought she was fun. Pink, I thought was pretty cute at sometimes, even though like the whole gas mask thing is just so wild.
Well, I think she's clearly supposed to be Madoka. Like it's supposed to be so on the nose, but just with a gas mask in the way.
Oh, really?
That's my interpretation. I don't know.
I don't know.
I kind of wish that their magical powers were a little less open-ended. Like it felt like they could just do anything because they're magical girls, and for some reason one has an obsession with needles. And honestly, I don't even know what Blue's power was. I think she just did a lot of like
she had
hitting.
That like scythe.
Yeah, she just hit things. Yeah, so it was just
she sexualized them.
Yeah, I did thought she was pretty funny when it's just, but. Yeah, I kind of wish that they were a little more specific with what their powers were, because it just seemed like, or they were both specific and overly specific, I thought, because they would just like wave a wand and make anything happen, but then you have Pink, who's so specific that she can work only with hypodermic needles. So
it was just abstract magical power. Their biggest power, honestly, was just making their names really easy to remember.
Yeah.
We didn't have to look up like, oh, what was their name again? Oh, it was Blue. Yeah, I can remember that.
Why does Anarchy get a name and not Red?
I don't know.
I didn't like any of them.
They were fine. They were more... Hey, Mitz, would you rather have them or your normal magical girl?
Normal.
Normal?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
These are just like trash fucking magical girls. Like they could have been anybody. They were just there because... the anime was about weebs and it had to have magical girls in it. That was basically it. I mean, that's how I took it. They were so generic. Come on, the Gobu fucking like goblin mask wearing chick. Are you fucking kidding?
She was awesome.
No, she wasn't.
Cool. She had a whole arc about like wanting to be the magical girl, and all her like druggy followers had to urge her to do it, and they like got the magical drugs, and she's like, "Give me the drugs now," and they're like, "No," and she was like all pissed. That was funny. I like them.
Anime fans want to make out with these anime girls. You got a fucking goblin mask on. You can't even see her face. What if she has no face? What if she has a vagina for a face, like in fucking Pigeon Blood? Come on.
I don't know.
Oh.
I have my suspicions that she might also be a magical boy, but that's not proven yet. APC243 in the chat is giving us odds, I'm guessing, of who would win in a fight. And I think Pancake has the best odds out of all of us.
You got the worst. No, I did.
Is 3-2 better or worse than 3-1?
It better. I don't understand these odds at all. And where the fuck is
Pancake
Caroline's
more
odds?
than-
Maybe he's making the odds like their odds against me.
Pancake
Like-
cannot take me. I will destroy her. She will be. I will burn her on the griddle.
Great.
Oh, Caroline does not register. You're not even ranked.
Oh,
So.
thanks, APC. I appreciate it.
You're 50-1. I don't know why. I'd like to see I'd like to see Pancake and Caroline throw down. That would be fun.
I don't like getting hurt.
Well, who does?
MMA
Anyway.
fighters.
That's a weird conversation. Anyway, so I'm ready to score this. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just a bunch of like goofiness about like otakus fighting for their ability to be otaku. I don't know.
Yep, that was it.
Oh, one more thing that I want to talk about. Do you think Otaku Hero is actually alive? Because
Alive. He's inside of all of us.
He's
That's
a
not very
metaphor.
He's
because
inside
that
of me right
whole
now.
ending episode, I was really expecting him to go like, "But we are friends. We went through so much, and Anarchy, I love you," and that would snap her out of it, and like they would, I don't know, save the day, whatever. But that didn't happen. They actually skewered him. But there was no blood, and it felt open-ended. So, what do you guys think?
Caroline implying the classic, if you don't see a character die, they haven't died.
Technically, we did see him die, but it was
saw him in the
without
grave.
all of the tropes. It was with no like the tropes of when a major character is supposed to die, they have to have a moment, and he didn't have a sufficient moment before he died.
I think Otaku Hero was sexy as fuck. I don't know how the three magical girls didn't dive on that.
I think he is dead, but they're gonna bring him back to life because basically that would happen in this kind of show where anything just happens.
It's all
for
a
no
game
reason.
anyway. It's all simulation.
Yeah, he's right.
I hope he's dead. I think he's just an idea, a metaphor that will live on.
He's a martyr for future generations to fight for.
Yeah, but how are they going to make a season 2 with that?
I hope they don't. Not everything needs a season
about
2.
Season 2. I have not seen any
Really?
news about season 2.
I was watching it in our watch party last night, and the
You
others in our
watched
watch
this?
party said that. What do you mean?
Yeah, they have a whole little watch party in the Discord.
There's like
just wanted
there's 26,000 animes and you pick this one?
Well, she had to finish it
I
somehow.
had
Are you
to finish
crazy,
last
girl?
two you're the one who picked the show, Mitsugi.
I didn't tell you to watch it
along.
I didn't tell you to watch it in a watch party on the Discord.
I had to watch 2 episodes. Somebody on the Discord wanted to have a watch party and didn't know what to watch. I said, well, I need to finish this show. Do you want to watch that? And they said, sure. And it was well attended and actually quite fun. So fuck you, Mitsugi.
I almost jumped in there.
Got
and
him.
I almost jumped. Yeah, got him. Look at that shit. Oh my god. She was
I'm
just
trying to lessen the amount of times I say the F word, so that was the one of the episode.
Wow. Well, we got Caroline to say the F word, and that's really the goal.
Because there's no reason for you to be like, why would you watch this for a watch party when you're the one who passed the stupid show?
Why don't you listen? Well, why don't you do a solid and score this anime for us?
Fine. It was a weird one. I was somewhat engaged. I thought there were some good ideas, but at the same time, I was not engaged at all. It was just a back and forth. So with that, I'm gonna give this show 2 unexplained little red creatures out of 5. Because seriously, what the frick is with that creature thing? They never explained it.
It's origin. It's the goddess. It's the person that told Choban to make this world and gave it the
But he just
power.
appears. He wasn't even with the magical girls. He just there
That
all
thing
along.
had died
and they
74 times.
It was just taken for granted. Oh, this is normal. Nobody even recognized him as being something abnormal.
Because the
I didn't
whole
appreciate
world is crazy. It's the player character. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Caroline
matter.
is so great. She talks with her hands. It's so funny.
Because I'm trying to describe
Are you Italian?
him because no.
Ba-
I'm trying to
ba- ba-
describe him with my hands because he's this big. He just floats around all the time. He just pops up for no reason, and they just don't recognize him as acknowledge him. That's what I don't get it. I need more logic in my shows. More logic than this.
Mason.
I can only like this show as much as I liked it, which is a 2.5 out of 5. It was really good at times, and I think it lost the plot by the end.
Yeah, I also think this is about a 2.5 out of 5. It was mid as fuck. What do you want me to say? It had a fun idea, but didn't do the best with the execution.
It was completely average while being not average in any way.
Okay.
Like, none of this was like, oh, I've seen this 1,000 times. It just failed and succeeded in unique ways.
Fair enough. So the people on the betting degeneracy are now calculating. Here they go. Scores incoming. Yes, they are talking about it on the betting degeneracy. Yep. All right. Well, that averages to a 2.5 for sure. And all right. I'm glad that one's done with. Now, I thought we were watching Dangers in My Heart, which has the best incarnation of Komi and the girl from Kimi no Chidoke in it, even though she is a little stupid. And we'll be covering that next week.
Woo!
We're going to have to pick new anime soon, aren't we? Because I feel like this season is...
This will be the last... Yeah, so Dangers in My Heart will be our last review from the spring season.
What are we going to do with these older ones that are like...
We will have to sit down and discuss what happens to 80,000 gold and Endo and Kobayashi.
80,000 gold?
Is it really that much? Yeah, it's that one where like 80,000 gold. You have to save until my retirement.
These are
like
both
that.
Caroline shows.
They are both my shows. They were
how did they... Caroline, you got to fight for yourself.
I don't really want to watch them, to be honest.
We will decide what we do. We have, the summer season's almost over. We have a classic review that we're queued up to do. We have some options, so we will discuss that for the future. But for now, Dangers in My Heart. That's what's next.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all for listening. As always, you can find us at AAApodcast.com. If you want to support the show, you can do it there. You can do it at Patreon. You can watch us live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. But you know what? The Discord, go to the Discord at thediscord.com. AAAdiscord.com. AAAdiscord.com. Don't make me repeat myself. That's where all the hot, sticky action's going on.
Ooh.
You want to... Oh, come on, Caroline. What if it's honey? And a baguette. Yeah, could be good. We're going to record a hentai episode for you right now. I don't know what we're going to discuss, but it's going to be good because I've been watching a lot of stuff and playing a lot of games. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week on the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Until then, I hope you enjoy your anime and just know that we all love you. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.